I'm recording myself doing a video. Tits up. God, I look terrible. Anyway, anyway, Evil's with me. So I'm going to do a video on what I observed in 9/11. That day I'll never forget. It was September, sunny, Vancouver. I was alerted to that 9/11 happened. Two girlfriends, one in Texas, one in two apartments away. Marianne Miller. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Well, I kind of believed it. And I made friends with Master Sergeant Grant Windsor, who I still have his email. I phoned him at the Pentagon. And to send cards to Julie. I still have his email address, by the way. Master Sergeant Grant Windsor. It was a horrible event. Years later, I learned more through, oh dear. See, I was kind of popular back then. I'm not anymore now. I'm kind of washed out, has been. But I would get a lot of messages and stuff like that. Because of a TLC TV show that aired close to that time. I was getting gifts of pieces of the trade towers, bits of metal and that kind of stuff, and keys and other things. Kind of added up over time. I had quite a collection of stuff. Also met the fire marshal in New Westminster. Joel, his name was Joel Brent. He was actually at 9/11, helping the other firemen. This is in about 2003 to 4 or 5 to 2008. I met a lady from the White House by telephone and by emails. I saved all her emails. And there were approximately 19 other terrorists that were going to hijack the aircraft. She sent me her stuff, along with this thing that she was going to do. I never opened this package. It's from a lady. I won't mention no names. But it's Patriot Promise, it's called. Your ticket to Everything America. She worked in the White House at that time. We're kind of like very close friends. She would call me by phone and send me emails. I saved all her emails, by the way. So, the stuff I did get from fans, I did sell it all on eBay. You'd probably find stuff that I sold on eBay. All my metal samples, I got rid of them. That was later on, of course. I sold all of them off. I have no use for those things. And I'm looking at the keys on eBay of World Trade Center 1 and 2. They're going for amazing prices, so like gold. I had those piles of keys. Some were melted, some were not. Chunks of metal samples. See, a fireman bought a large crunched up aluminum something or other. It looked like electronic device or something. But I got this in, I don't know how they got my address. I guess through Satchnoff Lipman Entertainment Group. If you want to see real bad stuff, go to Google, type in government exhibit, WTC, and you'll be pretty surprised in what horror that shows. Government exhibit. So there's been a lot of different talks about 9/11 and the Twin Towers mostly. Pentagon didn't seem to get much talk about it. I don't know why. Just as bad as that. The fourth plane was headed for the Capitol building, but a group of brave Americans took it down and smashed it into the ground in Pennsylvania. But so I've been watching videos. They come and go. There's a lot of videos that people like to talk about things. 9/11, and some are kind of out there, and some of them are not out there. Oh, what do I personally think? Well, from what I'm studying, I mean, you're dealing with aircraft with kinetic energy smashing through very thin, actual thin steel beams, the outer section of it. Tube design type building. And the building is mostly empty space, you know, when it comes down to it. But when it collapsed, the huge amounts of dust blew off from all the concrete breaking up all the way down to the ground. And that's actually all the concrete. Actually, you could pave a 5-foot wide sidewalk all the way to Washington D.C. from New York. It's 4 inches thick, so every floor had 4 inches thick concrete, and when that cracks, because the heat makes metal kind of not strong anymore, right? Right. So that pulled in, and the whole thing collapsed down, leaving in midair all the dust stuff that came roaring through Manhattan. There's lots of videos of people running from the dust cloud that came down. That was very thick too. So the concrete just explodes, goes off the sides of the building. The rest of all the weight and stuff comes down, and then the inner core comes down a little later on, seconds later. Very weird to look at that. I think there's staircases you can see coming down too. I took screenshots of some of this stuff. So no, the metal was. There was smoke and stuff a couple of months later, I think, from some of the videos I have seen on that. It must be a mass effect, huge massive burning stuff underneath all the steel beams. No, the steel didn't turn to dust. It just was concrete all over it and wall boards and other crazy stuff. That's basically it's a horror story. But again, the war is horror anyway. I see crazy Trump is trying to bomb Iran and bomb the school of kids and stuff. That guy's a sick old psychopath. He's a pervert, felon, and probably will get thrown in jail after his term is ending pretty soon because America has turned against him. But anyway, back to 9/11. So, yeah, so if you want to see the steel, what it looks like, you must type in FOIA NIST, or NIST, FOIA, Fresh Kills Landfill, and it covers all the steel. So they're taking a lot of samples of the steel. That was all shipped off overseas, but they have kept a huge amount in a museum, the 9/11 museum. Closest I ever got to something like this was probably Hiroshima City when I was a guest there. I saw Ground Zero. Also, the Iron Workers Memorial Bridge collapsed in North Vancouver, where I lived. Made a hell of a lot of noise. The beams are some of them resemble the 9/11 beams, all twisted up in a knot. But the bridge beams are a lot bigger than 9/11 beams. Anyway, Why am I talking about this? Because I've been reading about it. I follow new videos and stuff over the years, plus comments. Oh yeah, they had dogs. Like Mr. Evio was Casey, I think his name is Casey, who worked a miniature Australian Shepherd who worked the 9/11 area. Small dog, but you get in the small spaces, you know. And many other dogs were used. I think about 300 or 400 dogs. They had bunch of vets taking care of them because of the dust and dirt and pieces of junk and metal and glass and junk like that. So they get their paws cleaned and make sure they're getting a lot of water. Some of them are heroes. They got hero when they passed away. They got a hero type of presentation, and they are heroes. So your Evio, your little cousin back then was named Cassie or something like that. Miniature Australian Shepherd, and there's other Australian Shepherds, and there's German Shepherds and other dogs of all kinds of breeds. What's their talents, doing their work, finding people, finding remains. So yeah, um, so I learned a lot. Still studying. Excuse me. Still almost sneezed there. Yeah, I'm learning a lot. Just like World War II, I studied everything I could about it. Um, World War One, maybe a little bit. Civil War, a little bit. Yeah, fair amount, but it's not as grandiose as you can call it that. As World War II, which took epic proportions and epic veterans. Can you imagine storming those beaches? God. Well, the crazy Germans are just shooting them down. Operation Overlord. D-Day. I don't know, the human race is pretty violent, isn't it? Then you got crazy Trump and blowing up, trying to blow Iran up and blowing kids up. He's a warmonger, rich old pervert. Yeah, he got his crazy lawyer to get Ghislaine Maxwell into a nice, soft, let's say, prison cell. Then the latest news is, well, she's going to ask for a pardon. She's got him by the nuts, the old bugger. She'll spill all her beans as she. Talk about crazy stuff. And Trump's gang of criminals have already, some of them already have gone and going to trial. Bondi, little Miss Bondi, a total psychopathic Nazi type person. The other one, a Nazi type person, the one, Noam, what's her name, who shot her dog. Total psychopathic. And all the others are crazy as hell. Was it JFK or whatever he is? He is nutty as a fruitcake. They're all pretty rotten back there. Rotten criminals. So other things. How many migrants got killed? How many died in detention? And all these detention, just like Nazi Germany. So let's hope that Trump winds up in jail and his whole cabinet will slowly be dismantled and destroyed. Can't have Adolf Hitler II running around again. And the vets know that. Never again. Come on, remember? Never again. You don't need a big fat pig. Not insulting pigs. Slob. Big orange slob running around whoever voted for him, the people are now saying, "Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear." Right, Tucker Carlson, who I think I communicated with once. I got his email address if anybody wants it. I got dozens of email addresses for Trump and his crazy gang of lunatics. They keep emailing me or have, wanting me to be part of this or donate that and on and on. So I just type in Trump and all these things come up. Laura Trump or Ivanka Trump. They're all rotten. His wife is like some secret spy. Hey, secret spy. It's a classic movie scene. I am from Russia and I am very interested in you. I mean, that's all crazy stuff, right? Right. Oh, the interesting to see a world bumpy dumpy winds up. Anyway, back to 9/11. So that's, if you take a 22 bullet, a 22 caliber bullet, and push it at the speed of light, it would vaporize the Twin Towers and a lot of other things. Can you believe that? You can't believe it. Okay. So at the half the speed of light, it's pretty dangerous. It'll penetrate. A lead pellet will penetrate steel. Prove it yourself. Get your 22 and shoot a 16th of an inch sheet of steel. Or aluminum bullet. It'll go through. It's all kinetic energy and ballistics and velocity and foot pounds and foot tons and all of that. So it's interesting to analyze all this stuff. So if an airplane was traveling, just floating in the air, traveling at 5 miles per hour, it would hit the building and cause slight damage. But get that speed up. The more speed you got, the more energy you have, kinetic energy. As proven by Dr. Alexis Guy Obolensky, somebody I knew way back in the early 80s who talks about hyperdrive, time warp. And the Mach drive and the Mach weapon, MACH. And they did it. They tested it in the 40s. The Germans did, and also the Americans. It's top secret, by the way. A lot of stuff comes my way that's top secret, but who would ever believe me? And you got all these scientists getting knocked off. All these guys into anti-gravity are getting murdered. It's making news, so I'm always locked and loaded. Come get me, you'll find out something else. You'll find out something very dangerous. So don't bother trying to knock me off. I'll throw your... Never mind. Let's keep it civil. We will keep it civil. Civil. Oh, yeah. I'm very alert and very fast on the draw, so to speak. From experience, by the way. So anyway, so this June or July, my little escapade here will air on TV sometime. I had 2 people here when I was doing those experiments. I've been doing them for a number of years. That's kind of freaky when things go flying around, or metal goes mushy. So I'm not really promoting that stuff. It's none of my business. Really, it's... Why would I want to do that? I mean, what point is it? Also, Bob Greener's in Vancouver. He didn't say where, and I invited some of my fellow partners up in Canada to go see him, but apparently he didn't want to talk about it. He's kind of left me Alone for a while now. Thought I like his science, but oh well. He's got his own world to deal with, so. Yes, Dr. Rauscher was very familiar with the Mach 9 experiments, time dilation, because after all, Dr. Rauscher lived with me for a month in Gold Beach. I do miss my fellow people I used to connect to, like Ken Shoulders, Dr. Rauscher, and many, many others. Dr. Rauscher had her own room. I wheel her out. She's in a wheelchair by then, and then I wheel her out to the ocean, overlooking a cliff, and we talk and talk. I made sure she was okay, and then she left after a month or more, and went with somebody we call long hair. But she knew her stuff, as well as Ken Shoulders and others I've met over the years. These are the foundational scientists, the ones that know the old stuff. And now you got a whole new breed of scientists who kind of forgotten about the old stuff. But anyway, so I'm going to shut up, and I'll put this away back in the drawer. Also have papers. I just call her the White House lady, because she worked in the White House. And that's all I'm going to say. I don't like to put out names. I never opened this. It came with a book too. Her project book, which is somewhere in the cargo container. So this is a piece of history. I also have one other relic from WTC, and that's a wrench. Crescent wrench. In there. I'm not going to go get it. Somebody sent it to me. They use iron workers use it. Actually, it's got tapered. I put it in and line up the holes for beams and things like that. So I'll put this back in the drawer. Get ready to make cigarettes and go for dinner. What else I got in that magic drawer? Is that in there? Oh, yeah. This is advertising for a lathe I got from the Inventor 3. Not a lathe, a milling machine. A lot of my bigger machine tools came from Inventor 3. Check out his YouTube channel. Beautiful brochure on it. So I got that from Inventor 3. And Inventor 3, if you're going to listen to this, I still got your mortar and pestle as well as your mill any angle tools. And that little first prize of yours was a dovetail stamped with your name and company. Anything else in here? Nothing much. Oh, what's that? That's okay. Put that away. Shut up for now. And make cigarettes for tonight. And Mr. Evio is on the floor. So I'm going to say goodbye. Just my rant for the day. What I know. I gotta get makeup on and get my skirts back on. Because I look like such a diddly doo goofy looking, crazy person. Yeah, smiley dingbat. Okay, bye.